السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. This is a continuity of the chapter of Amr bil Maruf and Nahi al Munkar, and how we focus on good side and avoid the bad side of our halal and haram issues and dunya issues. So there are many ahadiths. One of this today is from al-Mu'mineen Salama هند بنت أبي أمية حذيفة رضي الله عنها عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال: إنه يستعمل عليكم أمراء تعرفون وتنكرون، فمن كره فقد برئ، ومن أنكر فقد سلم، ولكن من رضي وتابع. قالوا يا رسول الله ألا نقاتلهم؟ قال لا ما قاموا فيكم الصلاة. This is reported by Muslim, al-Mu'mineen Salama. Her title is Salama, but her name is Hind bint Abi Umayyah Huzaifa. And she said that Rasulullah said, there will be people will be appointed on you as your leaders, and sometimes they do something good, we recognize it, and sometimes you don't recognize something they ask you to do. So your way, for example, to live with them and deal with them are in three categories. The first category, that you openly reject their bad side, bad thing, munkar. So you are not responsible if they are still doing it. And as the hakim, as the ruler, if they are doing, and you said, I'm openly criticizing it, I'm only openly opposing it, so then you will not be responsible for their whatever they do. It is the best, the first level. But the second level is also accepted in a way, Vaman Ankara. A person is not able to express openly, but at least he show his unwillingness. He is not feeling it good and not cooperating in this issue without criticizing or openly opposing it. So Rasul said, Faqas Salima. This person is also safe. In the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the day of judgment, he will not be questioned, he will not put any sharing responsibility. But the third one is the one who will lose, وَلَكِنْ مَنْ رَضِيَ وَتَابَعَ. The one who accepted, even they are doing wrong, and not only accepted, but they followed them. This is the losing point. And mostly you can see, if you study our history, the history of Islam has two histories. One history is of our ulama, our scholars, our fuqaha, those who were explaining Quran and Sunnah, those who were explaining the haqq, those who were taking the command of jihad, all these things. And this history is a very, very bright, and mostly our ummah mostly trusted them more. In case of haqq, in case of righteous things, they trusted them more. Can you just imagine, suppose if Imam Malik says something and Khalifa is saying something, so people trust Imam Malik more. And this is our history, all the way. But of course, ulama has no power. They have no any authority. So they will just express their opinion. Sometimes it happened that they are isolated. Just like Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he was opposing the verdict or the decision or decree by Khalifa, and he was himself in prison. But the second history of Islam or Muslims are rulers. So we have different eras of our history. Of course, the best, ideal era is Khulafa Rashidin. Those who were rightly guided, it is the ideal. And you can see that they were following strictly what is Islamic values of halal and haram. And not only following, but they were teaching it, and also, for example, they opposing it, and they are defending it. But sometimes it happened that the next era happened just like a kingship, different kind of divisions of powers. Khalifa is one, but many rulers are emerged. As they are, some of them are very good. They were serving Islam. Some are not, or some are mixed. Something is good and something is bad. So a standard is two things. First thing, whatever they say, it will be judged by the measure or the scale of Islam. Whatever they are saying, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, "Atiyu Allah wa atiyu Rasulah wa ulil amri minkum." You should follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unconditional. You should follow Rasulullah unconditional. But you should follow your rulers if they are doing good. فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. If you are disputing with them, so the final reference will be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger's wording. So in this way, you can see that many rulers in this Muslim era, different eras, are committing something bad and something good, but they are always pointed out. Yani ulama and fuqaha and qadi, they were so just like many examples are existing in our history. And sometimes we don't read our bright side of history. Sometimes we read bad side of history, right? Just like I give, suppose one example, that one of the very famous alim from Egypt, his name is, and his title is Sultan al-Ulama, and the king of ulama, right? So it happened that he was a qadi in Mamluk time. Mamluk means those who were slaves, but they were rulers. So they ordered that we need to fight against the Mongols, so we need to collect jihad fund. So he rejected the idea. His name is Izzuddin ibn Abdul Salam. So he rejected. He said, no, you have lot of fund in your treasure and you are spending lot of money for just decoration of your slave servants. They have golden buttons, right, and kind of these things. So reduce it, use it first in jihad. When you need fund, then I will allow it. So the Khalifa, a Mamluk, not Khalifa, he was a king that time, called Malik. So he said, I not need you, and I don't want to listen to you. So, okay, I'm leaving. So when he announced that I'm leaving Ahira, people followed him. He said, we will also leave. So people said to Malik, you have no way, for example, to survive. We don't ask him to come back. He said, okay, ask him. He said, no, I will not come back till you are Mamluk slave. I will sell you first. You have a value, right? I will sell you first, and you give your money of freedom, then I will allow you. And he was sold. So this is our bright side of history. And it's not only one, many. So this is the way, for example, so Rasulullah said, if the person doing this way openly is the best. If suppose some people, even Ahmad ibn Hanbal time, many other scholars, they were agreeing with his point of view. But they said, why you are saying, just save your life, don't say this thing, just keep silent. He said, no, I have to. But others, they are also, for example, same pattern. But the third one, which is actually one of the worst situations happen in every time, how the rulers, they become, you can say, how they corrupt, how they become corrupt by supporters, right? They cannot do anything alone. Suppose the army refuse to do something, if the police refuse, right? And their employees refuse, they cannot do anything. But when they support them and they justify their all thing, then the issue comes always. So Rasul said the last point is that you agree with them and you follow them. So it means now, for example, your position will be same as them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he said in Quran, Inna Fir'auna wa Hamana wa junudahuma kanu khati'in. Fir'aun and his advisor Haman, right, and his finance minister Harun, they were wrong. Not only that, the junud, military men, policemen, they were also wrongdoers. Why? because they were joining them. They would not say, okay, we don't like to do this thing, but we have no option and so on. So this is the point which is mostly the worst part of our history, right? To say truth. It is most important job of this ummah. If the ummah kept silent through his ulama, through his elite or leaders or thinkers, then the issue comes worse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pointed out in the Quran how Pharaoh become so tyrant, how he became, and how every ruler become tyrant. He said, فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمَهُ فَطَاعُوهُ. He was humiliating his people and still they were obeying him. Right? So when he do this thing and people accept it, so he now become capable to do anything and they're responding to it. Right? This is the history of rulers and ruled. In that time, you can name them king. In our time, you can name them prime minister, president, whatever you say. But the same pattern is existing. But the safety point for them and for rulers and for people to say that it is not right. Maybe, but another point is very important. Suppose a ruler become corrupt. He's doing a lot of things. So what we do? The most, easy job is to revolt, to kill him, suppose, or to go, for example, some kind of mutiny, right? Rasul said, don't do this thing. Don't do this thing. So Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy Munkar is essential in every situation, right? As Quran says, reporting Luqman, when he was advising his son, Ya bani aqim as-salat, Amr bil Ma'ruf wanha 'anil munkar wasbir 'ala ma asabak. Oh my son, right? Establish salat and do Amr bil Ma'ruf and do Nahy Munkar and bear the pain when you take heat. People oppose you, people maybe hurt you, people will blame you. So take this heat and do sabr. So Amr Ma'ruf should be continued in every situation. But to remove the ruler, it has a very specific condition in Islam. What is this? Here in Rasul said, Ma aqamu salat. When they are maintaining the system of salat and they are holding it, they are, for example, organizing it, so then leave them not to reach to that point to do qital and most of our history point is that when we fed up with some ruler, we say we kill them. So then what happened? Fitna. Well, fitna ashaddu min al-qatl, right? The fitna or just spreading that kind of these things, not bring the system back. But what happened? Continuity of revenge after revenge after revenge and so on. So Islam actually is very correct. But again, one thing is actually very important, especially if you see in some Muslim countries, some Muslim rulers, they use this hadith, other hadith, which says don't say anything bad against your ruler and you have to listen and obey. Yes, it is there. But same time, Islam asks also to choose our rulers with our own choice. Right? And it is also, so the missing point is that they impose themselves with their own kind, for example, thing and their hierarchy and so on. But they say you have to listen to this hadith. So there is a balance between, for example, they are coming from right choice, but they're committing something bad. So we criticize them, we stand against them, but we will not say anything bad, especially in the level of two. So Rasul said, but your job is supposed to be very, very mindful about joining them or supporting them. ولكن من رضي وطاب. أم المؤمنين أم الحكيم زينب بنت جحش رضي الله عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل عليها ففزعا يقول لا إله إلا الله ويل للعرب من شر قد اقترب فتح اليوم من ردم يأجوج وماجوج مثل هذه وحلق بإصبعيه بالإبهام والتي تليها فقلت يا رسول الله أنهلك وفينا الصالحون قال نعم إذا كثر الخبث. أم المؤمنين أم الحكم زينب بنت جحش. Zainab bint Jahash is a cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she married to Zayd bin Harisa. Then she married to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He reported one time Rasulullah entered in my room and he was very frightened. He was very, very disturbed. He said, La ilaha illallah, it is a something bad news for Arab with some kind of evil starting or closing them, coming to closer to them. Now, Yajuj and Majuj, they have some kind of block or something, and for example, to not allow them to cross it. It has got some, yani just like in this, yani he can say this kind of hole start happen there. It means, for example, it may sometime maybe hole will be bigger. So Sayyidah Zainab was very wise woman. She said, "Oh Rasulullah, do you are saying that when the Jajuj Majuj will prevail and they will destroy us, and among us lot of pious people, lot of people who are offering salat, lot of people doing good, is still we will be, for example, killed or we will be destroyed?" She said, "Yes, إذا كسر الخبث." When the worst part or dirty part prevailed, it become dominant. What it means, just imagine. Suppose, for example, in this area, suppose some kids, for example, suppose playing with electricity, right? And they're playing with switch with some people, and you stop them from beginning. So it is safe. But you say, let them play. And suppose something happening, so they're maybe, for example, touching something, maybe it is hurt people, or some kind of building be damaged. So if some people say, "No, don't care about it, it's okay." So if we don't stop it in the beginning, the thing will be grow and bigger. So Rasul said, when the something dirty is spreading in society, and we said, "Okay, mind your own business, right? You do your job. Don't care about us." No, what happening in society, it may affect me. So if I don't care about it, I don't play my role, for example, to counter it. So what will happen? The khubs and the dirty thing will prevail. And even the salihun, they will suffer. Whatever good thing they do, they will get good reward in akhirah. But in dunya, so there are two kind of system. One system will be shown in akhirah. If someone praying, he will benefit. The person doing this, but the system in dunya is based on making our individual life clean and our society clean, and playing our role to make both things with good side dominating. If we allow to prevail bad thing maybe I am not causing it, I am not participating in it, but it will damage me. Just like a building. Suppose if the building is damaged, when it will fall down, all those who are living in it, they will suffer. So same thing Rasulullah said, and إذا كسر الخبث. One of the hadiths Rasulullah said, this is one very something good hadith, that Aiz ibn Amr radiyallahu anhu, he is a Sahabi, دخل على عبد الله ibn Ziyad. He entered in the palace of Abdullah ibn Ziyad. He was a governor from in Yazid time. So فقال أي بني إني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن شر الرعايا الحطمة. And he said, "Oh my son, I'm giving you a hadith. I heard from Rasulullah saying that the best rulers are those who are crushers, very very hard for their people, right? So they just like crush them. They crush them morally, they crush them character wise, and especially they don't maintain their dignity, right? So he says, I heard from Rasulullah that these kind of rulers are worse. So Abdullah ibn Ziyad, he understood that he is addressing to him, right? So you know what he said? "Oh, you are from the garbage of Rasulullah's time. And you are among the Sahaba, your level is the lowest of the lowest. You are just like just like no value." So Abdullah Sheikh Aiz ibn Amr said very good word. He said, in the number of Sahaba, there is no such kind of thing. all are the fine of the fine, or the finest of the finest, right? Among Sahaba, though no one was garbage. And even one person, he made Rasulullah one day and he became Muslim. He is a Sahabi, right? Of course, there's a grading according to the different kind of, piety and different thing. But in position of Sahabi, you cannot say he's a 20% Sahabi, 25% Sahabi. You cannot say. He's Sahabi, Sahabi. So he said, when I'm saying something and you are not taking my word and you are discarding it because I am not very famous among Sahaba, there's nothing, no such thing. I am giving you which I heard, and it is my duty. So you can imagine that when he entered, so he said openly, and he didn't care about it that he will punish him or he will misbehave him, but he said this word. And this is actually the duty of Sahaba. And at one time, when the Muawiyah radhiyallahu anhu was going to appoint Yazid, his son, as a successor, so one Sahabi, he openly said, are you following the traditions of Kisra and Qaisar? Kisraviyatun or Qaisariya? Islamic system is to be choosing the best, not the best on sonhood or something. The another hadith which is a very good, and actually it is for us very important, and it answers many questions we are facing in our time. حذيفة رضي الله عنه قال والذي نفسي بيده لتأمرن بالمعروف ولتنهون عن المنكر أو ليوشكن الله أن يبعث عليكم عقابا منه ثم تدعونه فلا يستجاب لكم. This hadith reported by Tirmizi that I swear with Allah who is holding my nafs, my soul, you have to do ask for maroof, amr bil maroof, and you have to, for example, ask people to stop from munkar, or otherwise may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring some kind of punishment from his heaven. What will happen that time? If some iqab or some punishment comes, you will ask dua and it will not be listened. And this is, we have the experience in our time, right? How many duas we ask every day? How many times we think we need and our dua is not responded, right? So it means that there is some barrier for acceptance. As ulama said, if you are doing something haram and you're not avoiding it, you're not stopping it, will not give you if you are asking something haram, it will not. And same thing if you are disconnecting with relation, it will not. So it means there are many reasons where the dua must be listened by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there are some barrier which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it on hold. So one of the area is when we don't, for example, spread good thing in society, so our own dua will not be responded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The another hadith which reported by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, that Bani Israel, the Jewish people, when they were given by their Anbiya any kind of guidance, so first generation was very good. And the Quran says, فَخَلَفَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ. The next generation, those who came later, they were not maintaining salah, they were not doing. So what happened? He said that when the Bani Israel, if someone do bad thing, so he said, oh, be mindful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and leave it. But what happened next day when this person is continuously doing this thing, they don't stop eating with him, joining him, establishing friendship with him. So later what happened? The feeling of sin become less, right? And then a person join. And when you join, you appreciate. And when you appreciate, you say, okay, no matter, it is okay. So gradual declining. It happened in this situation. So Rasul said it happened very gradual. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked his Nabi, لَعِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِن بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَلَى لِسَانِ دَاوُودَ وَعِيسَى ibn Maryam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Dawood and Isa to curse them because they were doing munkar and they were not stopping each other from it. And يَتَوَلَّوْنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and they were doing friendship with those who are doing kufr. So it is actually, it is a journey of sin. So, if you just study the journey of sin, first step, if a person do some sin, first step is I will hide it. Right? I don't want to let someone know it. Right? It is first journey. It means I am feeling bad. If I go back, then it is okay. My sin is gone. But the next step come, and Shaitan actually say to me, when you did one time, what you not do two times, right? Do a little bit more. You now did it. So I do it. Second, third, and so on. So the next step is, next phase comes when I say I do it openly, right? Openly. This is the next step. The third phase, when I'm doing it, if someone criticizes me, I justify my sin. So what's wrong in it? It's not an issue. It is not a big thing. I am just like it happening. This person is doing, this person is doing, right? And it is happening just like Ambiya. Bani Israel. When they do something, what they did? They said, our Ambiya were doing same thing. They start drinking, said that Nuh alayhi salam was drinking wine. When they were committing adultery, they said Lut alayhi salam did it. So they say, okay, why you are blaming me? They are the very pious people were doing, right? Then the next Esra come. The sin become good thing. And to criticize it become bad thing. Totally change. Maruf become munkar, and munkar become maruf. Right? And then you become, if you are talking about bad, you will be taunted. You will say, oh, this person, look, this person, the Quran said that the people of Lut, what's they said with Lut? Innahum yatatahharun. They pose that they are very clean people. And in our time, and it is very common thing in our time when some person say, suppose, especially in the in literary world, when you person interview some whatever you can say, the very popular person, he said, how you were living in your young age? Oh, I was studying, I was playing. Oh, you have any affair? No, you're hiding. Oh, say it. So they just like make the issue is a normal. It is a normal, right? So it is the say where Rasulullah said the time will come when you will stop Amar Maruf. That we will do it, yes. The time will worse come when you will spread Munkar. He said, it's happening, yes. He said, yes, the time will come when you will say Munkar Maruf and Maruf Munkar. And it is happening now, right? If you, for example, go in society and you say, brother, this is not Islamic thing, we should not. Who are you? Just like the people of Quraysh, they were saying, Ma wajadna alayhi abana. It was from our ancestors, coming from generation. Why you are stopping us? So I'm saying, for example, the journey of Maruf and Munkar is a journey of success and failure for individuals and for society both. The last thing which is actually important, that Quranic ayah, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la yadurrukum man dalla idha ihtadaytum. Oh people, it will not hurt you if someone committing sin and you are not part of it, so it will not hurt you. So it means, this ayah means, when you did your job, you conveyed the message and you played your role, then people are not coming back, so you will be not questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. But the impact of it will be here. But in Akhirah, the person will not be responsible. So these are some ayat related to Amr al-Ma'ruf and Munkar. And it is actually, I can say, it is two things happening in our time. One thing, it is not taken seriously, that it should be our responsibility. And but it should be taken properly. And Ma'ruf should be done with Ma'ruf. And suppose if I am asking someone in a very harsh way, right? Just like I'm attacking him. Oh, you are so and so. So this will maybe not, for example, his nafs, ego, right, will not listen to you. But when you ask him in a way that if he feel, yes, you are well-wisher, you are making him, So it is good thing which happens. So maruf should be with maruf manner. Second thing is very important that some of our uh, trends are developed in our society. Yeah, to don't talk about munkar, but talk about good things. Can you spread good maruf, but don't talk about munkar? No, Islam combine both. And we have to mindful about maruf. At the same time, we have to be careful about munkar. Both are important because if just imagine, suppose if you have some kind of craftsmanship and you did very good product, but you have some defect. I say no, this defect must be no, don't care about it. It's okay. No defect make, for example, the whole product will be, for example, bad. So same thing about the society that we supposed to combine both. Yes, munkar, as Hadith said, three levels. If I have power by hand, if not by tongue, or otherwise at least by my heart. So in this way, duty of Islam is same as our duty to pray and to, for example, fast and so on. And this way, the safety point will be always a protecting point for all of us. When the fire alarm is there, it is not only for building, it is for all those who are inside building. Jazakumullah khair.